Hey, welcome back. In this series of the playlist, we have the yellow cross done for the centers and also the white cross done. We also solve the orange cross. Now, as I said, we'll focus on the green. So, the green is here. Again, it's the same process, so I'm not going to explain. I'll just keep going with what I told before. So, here is my green, which is in the it already has one salt, so this is fine. The edge is salt. So this edge center, I move it to the buffer and I bring it here. Yeah, so now you got this two. Now let's see where the next one is. It's on the other side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this from here to here so I can have it solved later. So I'll move it like this, do a F2 and then move it back. So I'm not disturbing anything. So you have this continued and this is there. So now you look at solving. This is more to the buffer. This is the center. Okay, so now your buffer is here. I'm sorry, the pivot is here and the buffer is here. So what do you do? Just move it like an L, and since this is unsolved, I move it the unsolved one here and then move it back. So now it is like 3, and we are left with one more, which is here. Again, I want to move this to here so I can solve this one. So what I do is I move center, move to the right, center back. So now this is coming to the right. I secure it and I come back. This is your pivot and this is your buffer. Move L and this is the unsolved piece. Move the unsolved piece here. Move L prime. You're done. So you got a green. So now we got yellow, you got green, you got orange, and you got white. Now let's focus on the red and blue. You see that they are already forming because of the other movements. You already have some of them solved. So it should be easier. So let's start with blue. I keep it here and I say this is your pivot and this is your buffer. So L prime, unsolved one, move it down, solve. So this is like 3. Now we are left with one more, right? So here it is, L, unsolved one to the left, L prime. So you got the green, and you will see that incidentally this will also, because there is no other way. If you solve this the last but one, the last will be automatically solved. So now you got all the cross is done for all the centers, which means the center portion, the corners within the centers is what we get to solve. Again, we will start with this. Now, before we go into that, just keep in mind that these are the corners within the centers, within the center. So it's not going to be like these corners. They are different. Since these doesn't have the other face known, you can only see the yellow. You cannot see the other side. Like here, you will see an yellow and you will see a red and a blue. Here, you can't see this. There is only one first side. That is why it is considered to be center like this, right? You can't see more than that. So what you need to do is you need to again follow the same principle. So for example, let's say you have this, you keep it to the top. Earlier we were keeping it facing you and the one to be brought in on the top. Now in this case, the edges, in this case of the center corners, you need to do the other way. Keep the place where you want to move it on the top and the one from where you want to pick it in facing you. In this case, this piece, which is your corner, center corner, should move to one of these 3. It's already solved, so one of these 3. So what you do is you keep it like this and move the top in such a way that the place where you want to move, it's like it should be close. If you keep it here, it should be close. If you keep it here, it should be close. You can do it either of this side because it's symmetric, so you don't care about left or the right. You can keep it in right or in the left. I'll solve it at the left later, but now you are keeping it in the right. So this is your pivot and this is your buffer. You want to move this pivot to this buffer position. So how do we solve this? You just need to move this entire row down and then move it up. So this position, actually when you move this entire piece down, this goes down. When you rotate this to an F prime, when you are doing it right, you do an F prime. And then move this up back. So what happens is this will coincide with this. I'll show you, but I'm just telling you theoretically. So So what you do is first you do an R prime, which is actually moving it down, only this row, not the entire R. Okay, so this, and then move this back, this is F prime, and then do a R. So if you see this, this is coincident, but still this is not anywhere close to it. When you have a solved one, which is like this particular edge, the corner center is solved. So what you need to do, you need to move this back here. How do you do this? You can either do it this and then move this out, which means you will distort it further. So what you do is you keep it to a place where you have it, just move it the opposite side. For example, if you want to move it here, if you go up, you will distort the base. As you build the other ones, you will see why it is making sense. So right now what you need to do is when you bring this up, you move it to the, again do an F prime, and then you move this up, which is there. You have actually moved this out, right? So do a 2F, F2, and then bring this back. So now you have actually brought this piece that was there to here. It may not be very apparent and clear in the first go. I'll try to do it. In the second time when you do it, you'll see. See, now again, this is your pivot and this is your buffer position. Okay, I'm going to explain you how this piece moves to here the same way like what we did previously. But before that, I'll take a small break.